Hey there, friends. It's me again. It's Zuri. You have found Talk Yarning to me. I thank you for joining me to talk a little yarn. Very little yarn. We're just going to be really quick today. Ooh, actually, we might not be that quick because I just remembered something. But it's in my car, so I'm going to have to pause and get it. But anyway, we are going to be quick today. I did want to give you guys an update on some stuff I've been working on. As you know, I have a baby shower to go to in T-minus 2 days. On Sunday. Today is, it's crossed over to midnight, so it's officially Friday, the 5th of September. And I have this baby shower to go to on the 7th. That sounds about right? Whatever it is. Okay, either way, I gotta go. So I had to finish it. I did the Call the Midwife blanket in this yarn here. Sorry, I have the band, but I don't have like an extra ball here, but it's Patton's Beehive Baby Sport, Patton's in the color Precious Pink. And then I don't remember what the color of, well, I'll show you the border, the name of that color is, but I'll show it to you. You guys know, some of you might have seen, I put out a poll because I couldn't decide what color I wanted the border to be. I did finish the body of the blanket probably on Monday, Sunday or Monday, maybe even Tuesday. I'm not sure. No, Monday. I finished it on Monday, and I was trying to decide whether I wanted to continue on in the pink or add a different color border. I had like a white and a gray also in this Baby Beehive Sport. So I put out a poll on my channel, and I had a handful of responses. Thank you for all you guys that responded. I appreciate it. And at the time that I needed to get started on the border in order to finish on time, the pink and the white were tied at like 38%, and then like the gray had a smaller, that like 19% or so, or something along those lines. That math doesn't math, but it was, you know, two clear runaway winners and then one less. And so I had to make an executive decision. I decided to go with the white, and I'm actually really glad I did. I'm going to show you guys. So because afterward I looked like yesterday and the pink had pulled ahead. So if for all you guys that voted for pink and you see that pink won the poll, don't be mad. I started this project, or I started working on it when they were tied. So that was the decision. But anyway, here is the final project, and I love it. I'm really glad I went with the white. I think the contrast is perfect. I was a little afraid that the white would be a little too white and be a little too contrasting with this pink, but I think it's actually perfect, which makes sense because they're the same brand or whatever, the same line, so they probably meant to go together. Okay, so isn't that beautiful? It is a very good size blanket. It's right around 36 by 36 inches before I put the border on. The border is, it's like a couple of rows of double crochet, then some V-stitches, and then some shells into the V-stitch, which apparently is one of the traditional borders that people use for this blanket. This is like a antique knitting pattern from like the 50s, which is also when Call the Midwife is set, so that makes sense. Very beautiful little flower window box motif. I love it. I really love it. It came out so much better than I expected. I'm so proud. I'm so happy with this. I cannot wait to give it to my friends. I also got them like one of those baby swing things. I wish I could, it's like right there, but even if I turn the camera, you won't be able to see it. But I got them like a Graco baby swing, which was like on their registry. And then it's like an Amazon registry, so that I guess they could see that I bought it, because my friend texted me a few days ago. I was like, thank you so much. And I was like, oh, I didn't want you to know. Like when I registered at Target for my wedding, I think I could see what was bought, but I couldn't see who bought things. But I guess they could see that I bought it. Maybe I didn't correctly like put what, like that it was like not to put my name. I don't know. Anyway, but this will go with it. I also got a couple of clothes, and I got, I already had these, but a couple of little like baby toys, like fidgety baby toys, like little turny things and rattly things, just that I happen to have already, because when I see things like that, like on clearance, say at Walmart, I buy them because everyone I know loves getting pregnant. And I didn't think I'd have anyone to give them to because everyone I know finally stopped getting pregnant. And so I was like, oh, these are going to sit. I was going to give them to Goodwill during the move if like I hadn't found out that my friend is pregnant. So anyway, I'm so happy with this. I'm happy to be done with it. I do need to wash it, but other than that, everything is done. And it's really pretty, and I cannot wait to give it to them. Okay, so there's that. The other thing that I finished was one side of this sock. This is made with this here. I always forget the name. Lane du Nord watercolor sock. I remember saying that I was a little worried that I was gonna run out before, because it's supposed to make 2 pair of identical socks, and I was a little worried that I was gonna run out of run into the second half of the wool, I guess, before I finished the sock. But I didn't have any need to worry. Like, I have this much left of like the first 50 grams. So I do need to weave in the ends. I even still have, I feel like, the needle in here because I have to weave in like the very last little bit of yarn I have from when I closed off the toe. Should do that now while we're talking. But I just finished this today and I started the other sock because I had to take my son to soccer practice. And so that's the only small project I have going. Even though with this cone, it's not easy to carry it around, but it's the closest I could do. So, I can't do this and talk. So yeah, this is the other one I started. So in order to make them match up, right, I had to unravel this much. Like I was really worried that I was gonna run out of the green. I have this inside out now, but like you see how like the green gets lighter and lighter and it starts to go a little more blue. But I didn't need to worry because it goes, I couldn't see it at the time because of the way this cone is, but like under the green, this last bit of green here, it gets like to blue, and then it goes like into a darker and darker blue, almost to navy. And then it goes like, it lightens back up to like a white, and then it starts over. So like you can kind of see like the edge of the white here. It's only like a small strip of white. I guess that just tells you like where it starts over. So this, like it started over. So this will, I know that I'll have more than enough. This, I went to, the actual, so it's inside out now because I got to weave in on the inside, this last little bit here. I was going to do that, but the foot part is 10 inches long. So that's good for, I think it's going to be good for like a size 10 or 11 shoe, which should fit my cousin's husband, pretty well. I think he can't be any bigger than that, I don't think, because he's shorter than my husband, which I know doesn't always correlate, but I don't think he'll like be any bigger than 10 or 11. My 14-year-old, I think it's like 11. Not my 14-year-old, but his 14-year-old. My husband's 14-year-old is like 11 or 11 and a half. And I think my husband is 10 and a half. And I feel like this is even bigger. I went a little longer, I think. I can't be sure than the sock I made for my husband, but I'm not too sure. But I feel like this should be fine. If not, then it's okay. I'll make something else. So the next one I'm gonna do is this one. And I picked this because I have like at least 4 of these, and my cousin's son, who is like 23, he's the one that's a size 14. So I want to make sure I pick the one that I have the most of. And this is really close to his college colors. He went to, no, it's not, I guess. He went to Morehouse. He graduated from Morehouse College. This past year, he just graduated. But their colors are kind of like a crimson and cream, or like a maroon. Is it a maroon and a gray? I feel like this is close enough. I mean, it wasn't the plan, but I have 4 of those. It's the one I have the most of, so I know I won't run out. So that's why I picked that. So yep, so we are onto this sock. We'll go through that now that, like, I had to pretty much ignore everything this week in order to finish my blanket. But now that I'm finished my blanket, I can give time to all these other things. So that sock project is one of them. I played a little bit. I cut the yarn a little close when I was going to Kitchener up the heel, and so it's a bit of a yarn chicken. It was a bit of yarn chicken just getting the heel sewn up, and then now to like weave it in, I gotta finagle it just a little bit just to make sure there's enough space. But I'm gonna do that real quick while we're talking, while we're chitty chatting. And then I have another. I'll just tell you now. I'll show you in a second. I have gotten back to work on my flax sweater. Doing the sleeves. So I took apart, as you see, that second cake of the skinny cake is gone, is not there anymore. It's because I took it upstairs, I took it apart, and I identified like where I took it apart. I made myself 2 smaller cakes out of it that have that start at the same point where I left off. Sorry, just trying to get this woven in, and it's so the yarn is so short that this keeps coming out of the needle. So I did that, and then I started. I'm not gonna do both at the same time. I did like go and collect up enough needles to do both at the same time, but then I thought about it, and it's just like, I feel like that's going to be a little too unwieldy as far as like managing the like all those cables, managing all those yarns and little cakes and stuff, like, you know, the bits of cake, and just going back and like turning it around and without tangling, making a tangled mess out of it. And so instead of doing both the sleeves at the same time, I just went ahead and prepared myself. Prepared both of the that is done. So I'm gonna leave it inside out because I need to like tighten up the little hole on the side here that comes when you make a sock, and then that'll be it. And then I just gotta sew in this starting cast on edge, and we'll be done with this one. So yeah, that'll be cool. Okay, let me show you my sweater now. Thank you for putting up with that. That has been annoying. Okay, so here is my sweater now. This is the yarn. You see, I just took, this is like, the guts are gone from this one. So I took out a chunk from the middle here. And then I also took out this chunk. So the rest of the cake is still intact, but there's a chunk that I took out the middle here. And then, or is this yeah. No, this is the inside. This is the very inside of the cake. Sorry, this is the middle of the cake. It just already has a hole. And then upstairs is the other half of the cake. And here is, I've only done a few rounds, but here is one sleeve. I would be a little bit further, but I realized after I got about to where I am now that I did not change back to the big needles after I did the cuff. That's not a cuff. The hem, you went down. This was done in 6mm needles. No, sorry, in size 6 needles. What are you? Yeah, 4mm needles. Okay, size 6 4mm needles. The cuff here and the collar are done in 3.5mm needles, which is a size 4. But I had finished off, and then I didn't switch the needles back, and so I went about this far. It was about a 1/2 inch, and then I realized that I didn't change it back, so I had to rip it all out. And thankfully, if you see here, let me see if you can see. You see this little line right here? This is the line. This is the waist yarn that I had put it on to hold the stitches, and I'd left it in. I was like, let me leave it in as a lifeline just in case something happens, I had to rip back, and thankfully I didn't because I had to rip back. So I'm glad I left that in there. I don't usually do lifelines, but I went ahead and left that in there. So this is it, yeah. So I gotta go about 3 inches and then I'll start decreasing. So I got a little ways to go, but it is what it is. It's a little bit of a long cable, but I tried a shorter cable and I couldn't really do the magic loop very well. So I moved to this really long cable. Other than that, that's it. So I'm happy to get back to this because I really am looking forward to wearing this. And it's actually getting cool enough, almost. It's getting cool enough to wear a sweater. Not really, barely. Sometimes, some evenings it's getting cool enough to wear a sweater. This evening it wasn't. Okay, I got one more thing to show you. It's not in my car, it's in my garage. I'm gonna pause. 2 more things actually. Okay, so sorry, there's been a little bit of, I meant to do this before I unpaused, but I forgot. There's gonna be a little bit of rustling. All right. So the next 2, not the next 2, but 2 upcoming things that I want to do. One of them I will probably do this year. The other one I might wait to start till next year. We'll just see how things run. Okay, so I think I remember mentioning at the beginning of the year when I kind of made some goals for the year, my knitting goals, or my crafting goals, was one thing I wanted to do was like a colorwork sweater. Like a Fair Isle or some kind of knitting colorwork. I have the only color work I've really done in knitting is like mosaic knitting, which is when you do like slip stitches, you alternate like slip stitches and knit stitches or purl or whatever to kind of make some colorful designs. And I've done like a very, very rudimentary like stranded knitting projects, but I've never done like full, like really intricate color work. So that was a goal for this year. And when I was in Michael's a few weeks ago, I found on sale, actually on clearance, a lot of it, I think, this Woolies. It's still very, like, it's the basic worsted weight Woolies in these 2 colors. And I thought they went really well together. You look at that. And so I was like, I think I'm going to try my hand at a colorwork sweater with this because I do have the, actually, yes. Well, I don't remember if my original plan was, yes, it probably was. I don't remember. But so I was looking, I was looking this weekend on Ravelry or something for Fair Isle sweater patterns. And most of the ones I found were actually for worsted weight, you know, yarn or Aran weight yarn. And so if you guys remember, my original plan was to do a colorwork sweaters, like try colorwork sweaters with the KNC and Big Twist sock wool that I bought. And I still will do that, but because I would definitely want to follow a pattern closely for the first one. And because I want to try it with a yarn that's a little more on the affordable side. Because if I mess it up, it's less of a loss. Even though those are really affordable because they were on sale and they're big box store, but like these are still a little bit, you know, lower end than those. So that was originally, so I originally was gonna, I'm rambling, let me collect myself. Originally, I was wanting to use those yarns, and I still will, to make a sweater. 1, they're packed up in my boxes, so they won't be back out again until after we move in 2 weeks. And 2, I do want to practice on a bigger yarn and with a pattern. And most of the patterns I found were on worsted. So I was like, okay, I can use this instead and make my first Fair Isle sweater. And that's what I'm going to do. I did find a pattern, which if I remember, I'll stick up here somewhere. I don't remember the name of it. It was on Ravelry though, I believe, or maybe I saw it on, maybe I found it on Pinterest and got linked to it. I think actually, because I think Ravelry, I didn't find anything I really like, but I found one on Pinterest, I believe, and I'll link to it. Or I found a link to it. Either way, I'm going to use this. It's going to be really pretty. So this one I will probably start sooner rather than later. But this weekend I also kind of had a little bit of, actually it was Monday, because I was off alone with my thoughts. I had a little bit of a inspiration to do something else. So you guys know I do not like doing cables. I'll mention it. I'm like, they're not fun for me for the most part. It's a lot of work. I lose my cable needles every row, and I have to find them and everything. And so I don't love doing cables, and I'm not very good at them. But there is this one sweater that I've seen that I've fallen in love with. I myself call it the Sister Michael sweater. If you guys have ever watched the show Dairy Girls, you will recognize it. I'm going to put it up here. Sister Michael, who is like the head nun of Dairy Girls, guys, is a hilarious show. The language is a little spicy, if you're sensitive to that, but other than that, like the actual like sentiment of the show is just really good, and it's very funny, and it's only 3 seasons. But anyway, there are these girls that are growing up in Northern Ireland, which is Catholic. They go to a Catholic high school, and the head nun in their Catholic high school is Sister Michael, and she wears this really beautiful, like very traditionally Irish Aran cable sweater in several episodes, and it just looks like so cool and so cuddly. It's like white, or like, it's really nice. If you've watched the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so I was like, I want to make a Sister Michael sweater, even though I don't like doing cables. And so I went looking for a pattern, and I found a pattern. Actually, Lion Brand has almost the exact sweater. I'm going to show Lion Brands here. I'm going to put them, maybe I'll put them side to side if I can. They have almost the exact same sweater, very, very similar Honeycomb Aran knit pattern for free. And so I was like, making it, gonna do it. And so I went back to Michael's to see if there was more of this, and there was, but not enough. I went to 2 different Michaels. I was able to get 9 of them. I feel like I'm gonna need at least 10, so that means I want to have 12. And so I think I found 9, and I ordered 3 more. But this is, I'll tell you the colors. I forgot. This is Wool Ease Worsted. This one is in the color Fisherman, which I think is really fitting for one of those like Irish cable sweaters, because that actually definitely like reminds you of like what you would see like an old fisherman probably wearing. I don't know, like stereotypically, obviously. I've never lived in a fishing village or any of that, but this one's called Grey Heather, and then this one is called Riverside. So this is going to be my Colorwork Fair Isle knit sweater, which I'll probably start soon after I finish old Flax over here. And then this one is going to be my Sister Michael, aka Honeycomb Aran sweater. Aran. So those are coming up soon. I don't have a timeline for them. For this one especially, this is going to come later, especially because it's going to take me forever because it is cabled. But it is what I'm going to do. So I'm excited about both of those things. Put these back in the garage at some point. I'm excited about both of those things. That is what's going on. We are moving. As you see, my husband and I are gone from back there. Just a few other boxes like over here. All of our paintings and stuff are down. They're in that box there that you can see. I think you can't see any of the other. We got some more boxes in the hallway there, but I don't think you can see them. And yeah, we're probably this weekend going to like some of the bigger things that we're not going to take, that we can't really donate either. They're not worth donating, like the old couches that the cat has scratched up and the kids have ruined, or like an old filing cabinet full of papers that we don't care about. And like some other really big things, we're just gonna, we haul them out to the curb, and then we call what's called our City Refuge Control, and they bring it, they send a team out. Like they'll come and they'll like give you a quote how much it'll be to haul it away. It used to be really cheap. I used to be able to get rid of like a whole curb full of stuff for like $40. The last time we did it, it was like 120, which is crazy. But yeah, also like a couple of mattresses. So it's probably gonna be expensive, but we'll get it out of here. Maybe we'll just, if you run it to the dump yourself, I think it's by the truckload. I don't know if we'll have time for that. But anyway, so we're gonna do that this weekend, haul that stuff out to the curb. And what else we gotta do? Just finished packing. We're closing on this house the morning, and then we're closing on the other house in the afternoon on the 18th. So it's gonna be a hectic day, and then we're gonna get the truck, and then we're both gonna take those like 18th and 19th off because that's a Thursday. And we'll load up the truck. I don't know if we're gonna get the truck Thursday or Friday or Saturday. I don't know. But yeah, we'll come back and we'll be able to finish up whatever we need to finish up. And I kind of extended our time deadline to move out of here to that Sunday, though I don't think we'll need it because we were planning to be in the new house by Saturday, but you never know. And yeah, that'll be it. So 2 weeks from now, we got our conditional approval today from the underwriter. So there's just like this kind of longer list of conditions, like, but nothing hectic. It's like, oh, I forget. Little ticky-tack things. So yeah, that's where we're at. I guess that's it. I just wanted to show you guys this blanket before I washed it and packed it up and gave it to the new baby. And then just show you what else is going on. So I'm gonna go now because it is late and I am tired. But I'll talk to you guys soon when I have something else cool to show you. All right, later.